To come, Rafael Silva against Tatsuya Mizuno. Welcome back. We're at the Singapore Indoor Stadium for 1FC Total Domination. Friday night fights, and we see some crackers so far. Plenty more to come, including this guy, the reigning 1FC lightweight champion, moving down to featherweight for the first time in 1FC, Shinya Aoki. Next up though, it's a middleweight contest. Rafael Silva against Tatsuya Mizuno.
Sem dúvida que é um lutador muito interessante, com muito nome, muito respeitado, eu sei, e respeito muito também. Este será sem dúvida um maior desafio, porque é o contacto, é o verdadeiro momento. Lutar com um lutador tão conhecido, lutar com um lutador reconhecido, é o meu momento.
強いやつをしのげてるっていう自信があるんで、そういう部分で向こうの選手の成績、試合の数数は気になりますけど、戦ってきた相手を見ると、こんなに。
Já lutei com grandes nomes, lutei com o campeão da Rússia, campeão da Suécia, campeão da PLP, campeão de vários campeões e já ultrapassei vários obstáculos. Sexta-feira a gente vê isso.
やっぱ格闘技の逆に KO だったり、フィニッシュ、一本だったり、判定はないかなと思います。必ず、どっちからでも試合を終わらせてるんですね。
Eu penso que ele apostará mais no combate em pé, mas se ele diz que vai finalizar, logo vemos, porque eu estou preparado para tudo.
形はパンチ、ドンチはめてやると思ってます。
Espero que estejas preparado,
Si te quiero, eres tan fría, hay como el agua que baja al nivel de la montaña y yo no entiendo. In the blue corner from Portugal, Rafael Silva.
Rafael Silva from the great country of Portugal. A submission specialist. A 7-fight winning streak. 35 years old. Enormous MMA experience. 39 and 13. As a freestyle wrestling base, he's a UFC champion of the world. 21 wins by submission, Jason. Over a decade's professional experience.
He has been fighting for a long time, like you pointed out. 21 wins by submission. Both guys in this fight, very, very experienced. I mean, over 52 professional MMA fights. That's incredible. The Portuguese middleweight champion hasn't lost a bout since early in 2011.
Nor have I, though.
That's true. You also haven't won a bout since ever. So I guess it kind of comes out in the wash.
We haven't seen him in a UFC cage before. It's a pleasure to have him here. Well received by the crowd here at the Singapore Indoor Stadium. Packed house as I look around me. Another very experienced man, 32 years old, has an 11 and 9 record. One of the top big men in all of Asia. The dream, fan-praised and K1 veteran. Third-degree judo black belt.
He's only gone the distance twice in 20 fights. And also had a lot of experience, like we talked about. Third-degree black belt in judo. He's a dream Grand Prix finalist. 20 MMA fights. Has fought a lot of high-level guys. Trevor Prangley, Igor Musasi, Belgrano, and Nacho Sobral. And even though his record is almost 500, you have to look at the quality of guys that he's faced.
Between them, 72 mixed martial arts fights, a whole heap of experience in the UFC cage tonight.
His record reads like who's who of MMA back in the day too. He has wins over guys like Belgrano, who's just an absolute beast, and Trevor Prangley, who's been all over the world and back fighting.
Renata Sobral as well.
He lost to Sobral. But yes, he did fight Babalu,
who we've also seen in a UFC cage. All 11 of his wins have come by way of stoppage. All 11 wins. Having his nails cut there.
We don't want to Freddy Krueger anybody while we're in there, so it's important we keep us. I wonder if this is going to be awkward for him to watch in a highlight video there.
A mani-pedi before you go into the cage.
Just obviously so you keep your fingernails and toenails short so you're not scraping anybody up when you're in there.
Yeah, clearly that's the reason. We don't want any cuts from fingernails. It should be something that mixed martial artists are well on top of. I noticed Arnaud Lepont actually painted his fingernails in a paint earlier on tonight. Any particular reason you can think of for that?
You know, there's a few guys like Frank Trigg, there's a bunch of guys that have painted toenails and things, and there's stories behind it, one way or another.
We'll leave it there. Tatsuya Mizuno, 32 years old then. Such a wealth of experience in the 1FC cage right now. So 35 against 32, Silva, the older man. There's quite a difference in height, 9 centimeters. The Japanese, the taller of the two. This is Portugal against Japan.
Ladies and gentlemen, this next bout is 3 rounds in a 1FC middleweight division, and it's brought to you by AsiaRooms.com. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, standing at 178 centimeters tall, weighing in at 83.9 kilograms, with a professional record of 39 wins and 13 losses. Fighting out of RS Team, WFC champion of the world from Portuguese, Rafael the Machine Silva. And introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, he stands at 187 centimeters tall, weighing in at 83.9 kilograms, with a professional record of 11 wins and 9 losses. Fighting out of TMC, Dream Grand Prix finalist from Japan, Tatsuya Mizuno! And when the action begins, your referee in charge, Kenichi Serizawa.
2 rounds, 5 minutes, okay? No rotate, no stop, no backhand, no spike, okay? Take off, okay, back. Ready? Ready?
Silva against Mizuno then. This fight brought to you by AsiaRooms.com, the official online accommodation partner. Mizuno looks slightly smaller than when he faced Sobral last time we saw him at 1FC. It's because he's dropping down to this weight for the first time. Previously fought at light heavyweight.
Looks a lot leaner too. Oh, Mizuno, and a Kimura. That was beautiful.
It's the right arm that's under pressure for Silva.
He's going to have a difficult time getting. He needs to free his left arm from Silva's shin there, but that was a beautiful transition off of the single leg and using that momentum to sweep over Silva.
It's a great deal more sprightly at this lighter weight, Japanese.
And Mizuno's going to try to control Silva here. Looks like he's going to go back and attacking that arm. Silva uses that top leg to just create space so that he doesn't have anything.
Japanese cornerman, quite vociferous. Good right hand from Silva. And that pushed Mizuno back. Big warning shot for him there, across the bows.
Silva's got his hands kind of low. Little Superman punching.
Oh, big one again from the right.
He let it down square up to his chin too.
Mizuno is backing up.
I think that right hand hurt Mizuno. It's a little tentative now.
It does.
He ate that for dinner. Silva's got his hands very, very low.
He's very wary of that right hand, isn't he? The internet from the Japanese fighter.
Mizuno just ducks that right hand from Silva.
Silva throws
some ferocity from way back. Over 70 MMA fights total in the ring right now. Lots and lots of experience. Mizuno's nose looks like it might be busted up a little bit there from that right hand.
Does look a bit red, certainly.
Yeah, definitely landed square. So, nice belly to back suplex.
And Mizuno's taking the punishment. It's a very red nose now. I don't see any blood. He's pawing at it though.
That's one thing you don't see enough in MMA. Belly to back suplexes.
Saw one there. And there's another right hand. It's the overhand right that sets it up, and then he brings it across the way. And Mizuno is eating those.
He is. He's got to be careful because he's backing up and he's getting hit on the chin. And we've seen a couple of times today where that hit only takes one to go through, and every time you get hit, you know, that rings your bell a little bit. It gets you disoriented. That's why sometimes you'll see a guy eat a kick or eat a punch, and that's not the punch that knocked them out. They look fine, but their whereabouts are in another city. They took a jet plane overseas.
Oh, and again, that nose is bloodied now for sure.
Good inside leg kick again at Silva.
1 minute 20 left in the first round, and Silva has sent out plenty of warning shots to that face, which is now splattered in blood from the nose.
So it definitely looks hurt from that first shot he took.
Holding onto the cage there.
Mizuno's going back in on that Kimura. He's going to try to attack the arm and sweep over again. Just like that. Mizuno needs to get up.
Good defense of the submission. Well, back and forth this one is going.
Judo guys like Carl Parisian used to be very good at that. Mizuno, you know, straight ankle lock. Sorry, U-bar. Sakuraba, another Japanese fighter, was very well known for doing that and attacking the Kimura. That's actually how he broke Enzo's arm. Enzo Gracie had Sakuraba in a position like this, and he attacked the Kimura, pressing down and locking a good point. Good action back and forth.
And listen to the Singapore fans applaud them. A good left hand in amongst those three punches that were thrown from the Portuguese. The legs were taken away there. What a round that was. We saw a real exhibition of punching.
Showtime Championship Boxing presents Bernard the Executioner Hopkins, a living legend. At 48 years old, he's the best light heavyweight in the world. Now the ageless warrior puts his title on the line against top contender Karl Malak. Plus undefeated middleweight champion Peter Quillen battles Gabriel Rosado, and heavyweight sensation Deontay Wilder returns. It's a big night of action. Saturday, October 26th at 9/8 Central, only on Showtime.
ONE FC back in Singapore, where it's based. 90% market share of mixed martial arts in this part of the world. All of Asia now dominated by ONE FC. Left hand from Mizuno.
Rafael Silva kind of reminds me like Urabov champion a little bit. This guy fought back in prime, ducks his head and throws big haymakers over the right. And it's not necessarily the prettiest boxing you'll see. His hands are low, his head movement's not spectacular, but man, he just developed a style that works really well for himself.
Mizuno is bleeding heavily from the left eye. It's above the left eye.
That's a big cut too. Trying to see here from cage side.
A lot of blood coming out of that, Jason.
Yeah, I think that this may get stopped in a second. The action's right above us here. This is gonna be, yeah, that's a big cut. That's a big gash. I think they're gonna stop it. We'll look at it here in a second.
Dabbing away at it with his left hand. The referee.
This is a good time for Silva to take advantage of that, though. If the referee's not stopping it, that blood in the eye is really gonna get to Mizuno.
fists, and that eye is severely threatened. So, referee Kenichi Serizawa calls in the doctor. So look at the gash.
I think we're going to get to see here what that what it looks like here. A couple of punches. You know, sometimes these look a lot worse than they really are. Like, you put a little adrenaline on it, a half-inch cut just based on the fact that it's on an extremity, like your head or your foot or something will bleed a lot because of the sweat and wiping your gloves. A lot of times the cuts look worse than they are, but it'll constantly bleed. Fighter safety obviously is paramount. If that blood gets into your eye or the referee thinks that you can't continue safely, then they will stop the fight.
We always say if the cut is above the eye, which it is here, the blood can run in the eye, as you just said, and that impedes vision, obviously, which is a big danger in itself. There's a lot of blood.
Yeah, it's a cut right above the eye there. Looks to be about an inch long. That's a very, very common place for guys to get caught in the brow line because you're leading with your head. Sometimes you get caught with elbows or you get headbutts in an accident. Let's see here where it happened. Yeah, it was a headbutt just like that. Look,
there it is, very clear, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was a clash of heads.
Accidental headbutt.
Oh, absolutely accidental for sure. Unfortunate. Mizuno now has to carry that through the next almost 9 minutes. What a big overhand right in his leg sweep. Silva has been impressive. And a big overhand right again. Wow, Mizuno knows he's in a fight here.
Silva's beastly. Even though his hands been down so low, he's really been able to just dominate, getting in those punches and timing it right.
Very impressed with him, 35 years old. And he moves this quickly.
That time the trick didn't work, so saw it coming. Trying to work to the back here. This is a game of chess. Silva knows what Mizuno's trying to go for here on that Kimura, but if he's able to get the takedown and be safe about it, he's still in a better position. Silva's going to try to work in here on a single leg.
That arm is in danger again. No, he slipped away. You'd figure that Silva would just be happy to keep the fight standing up. That left, he's been so successful with his punches. Whenever they get together, Silva's arms immediately become threatened.
It's been an absolutely great fight.
It really has. Halfway through the second round. Oh, big right from Silva. These two exchanging leather and kicks.
I'm surprised that Mizuno's not throwing any head kicks at Silva just because he has his hands down so low and he's able to really stay at a safe distance from getting punched and throw a couple of head kicks. He's been seemed pretty content to stay in that pocket. You see when Silva throws that punch, he steps forward on that 1 and 2. That's why he's got so much power behind his punches. See how he steps forward there, just puts his weight behind it.
Silva's head hunting, and Mizuno at least knows that. But he's pawing away at that eye of his. The blood's clearly running in the eye. Knee to the head, followed it up with the left hand. The Japanese in the ascendancy, but takes the right hand on the chin. Understandably, Mizuno looking a little ragged. And his face is a mess. Right above us here, at cage side.
Absolutely crazy fight so far. And Mizuno's been in there with some of the toughest guys too, so he knows what it's like to weather those storms. And sometimes weathering a storm is what you need to come back. But Mizuno's left eye has just been decimated by Silva so far.
Well, it's a bloody mess, and the referee will be looking at that constantly to make sure it hasn't opened up to the point where it's going to cause a serious injury.
I think they're going to get a chance to look at it between rounds again here in 45 seconds, so they may or may not stop it. But Silva's doing a very good job of just throwing big punches and putting his weight behind it.
52 fights, Silva. Knows what he's doing in there. 35 years old, still can swing with speed. Took a knee to the midriff that hurt him. Visibly, you could see Silva was there, and he's taken a few more. Mizuno has found a way in, and he needs one. Final 10 seconds, and as Silva was there, he's going to see out this second round. What a couple of rounds we've had. 10 minutes of just blistering action. A candidate for fight of the night. We've seen some good ones.
Oh, for sure. I think we're going to take a look here at some of the action. This is beautiful leg sweep by Silva in the opening few seconds of the round. Mizuno did a really good job of popping right back up. And Mizuno missed his Kimura attempt here. You see, when you miss that attempt, you got to get up to your feet and get to your knees to think about the positioning. Just misses with that right hand. Mizuno had a couple of nice shots back too.
What a matchup this is.
Já és o campeão. You know, I gotta think that if I'm in Silva's corner, you're just telling him to stay on what you're doing. He seems like he's got Mizuno's number here. He's been able to get inside, connect with some big punches, not really take any damage.
Felicia Yap shows us that we're into the third and final round. 10 glorious minutes we've had at the Singapore Indoor Stadium. One fight championship. Total domination. You can't really say that either of these fighters has dominated because it's been so back and forth. But I've got Silva slightly ahead.
Yeah, I think Silva's way ahead on this card so far. I mean, he's really had. Silva looks like he's okay. But man, that's what we talked about in that last round is why isn't Mizuno throwing those head kicks?
No stomping, the referee
Can't
said.
hold on to the cage either.
Can't hold on, yeah.
But you know, Mizuno saw that, or at least his corner did. Yeah, I don't think he just slipped there. Those head kicks landed nicely.
Mizuno constantly getting told off for holding onto the cage.
See, this is a bad spot right now. See, Mizuno rocked Silva with that head kick, and he really rocked him with that other punch that he threw and knocked him on his butt. Giving him a few seconds here to recoup is not a good strategy. He really wants to keep pressure on him.
I do think that Silva was kind of okay through that. He had his senses the whole way through.
Well, there's a big nut swelling up on Silva's head. And whether he was okay or not, it was as close as he came to really finishing the fight. You gotta roll the dice a little bit sometimes.
Oh, look at that. That's a big lump on the top of Silva's head. It's just suddenly swollen up within seconds, and he's doing all he can to protect it. That will be very, very tender. Oh, big kick. And this is not a position that Silva wants to be in.
Yeah, Silva looks like he's kind of content just staying here for a minute. He's not really trying to get up. I wonder if that kick really hurt him because he's not looking to push up or doesn't show any signs of feeling an urgency of getting back to his feet here with Mizuno. You saw when Mizuno stood up earlier that Silva just had his hand tight behind his head. He's just relaxing. Now he's...
I wonder if he's injured himself in some other way. He seems to have his senses, and now Mizuno's got his back. He's wrapped up like a soccer ball there, Silva.
This is what we have as a differentiating factor in 1FC is that we don't judge round by round. You can't just come in the first 2 rounds and win and then have your idea be, well, I can just kind of play possum in the 3rd round because Mizuno still puts this out. Maybe you have to judge to see this.
Silva is taking some punishment, a huge right hand there, followed up with a forearm. Mizuno is having a super round, and as Jason says, we don't score round by round. But this final stanza will be eye-catching now, that right arm.
He's working on that far side Kimura again, but sweat being a factor, and just also just the massive amount of experience. Your danger meter. Now he's working into the headed arm choke here. Mizuno's going to try to keep pressure and pass his inside leg out to the outside, right? Like this. Sweat. Silva was able to sneak out.
Back on their feet. Look at that lump on Silva's head. He's got his right arm caught up there again.
couple rounds, Mizuno needs to let that high kick go so he stays out of striking range with Silva. And he's had success from 4 kicks, 3 of them landed clean.
What a round this is for the Japanese man.
Boy, if you just tuned into this fight in the last 3 or 4 minutes, you think that Mizuno had been dominating the whole time.
Absolutely. Can't stress enough, we don't score round by round. It's the overall fight. Mizuno is still in this.
And Silva's very tired right now, but I think Mizuno may need to finish this with a submission, because I don't know if in the judges' eyes he's going to have done enough really to squeak this out. It's tough to call. Silva obviously is very tired here, though.
Well, they have just given everything, these two. Final 40 seconds. Has Mizuno's push in this third round done enough to win overall? Or was Silva's work in the first 2 rounds enough? What a contest.
Mizuno looks like he's going to try to head an arm choke again. He's going to need to free his foot, hop over to the inside. He's got some pressure, but now Silva's safe now. He got his elbow back.
13 seconds left only.
That was really interesting how Silva actually timed that triangle. He knew that Mizuno was going to try to hop over. He timed that to sweep him to get out of that position. I haven't seen that before.
And that was 15 minutes of absolute fury.
It's a great fight.
Mizuno thinks he's won it.
Interesting to see which way the judges are going to score this bout. Some of the criteria for ONE FC is the damage that was done. And up until the beginning of this round, the damage was all done to Mizuno. Let's take a look at that action again here. Talk about some of those head kicks. And there's one kick.
That was where it all started for Mizuno in the final round.
He was able to knock him down and get some good kicks here. Soccer kicks can't hold on to the cage, but this was really the beginning of the tide turning. You saw that Silva, it looked like he was getting a little bit tired here after eating some of those shots. That one kick we saw there with Mizuno that landed on Silva's body may have really just took the wind out of him. That head kick, even though it was glancing, still on the money.
Hard to know how to view this. Silva was on top for a longer period, but not with the intensity that Mizuno dominated with in the final round. So how do you score it?
That's really tough. I can see this going either way. If you're scoring round by round, you give the first 2 rounds to Silva, but if you're scoring as a whole, you might give this fight to
Another
Mizuno.
round of applause for you two, ONE FC Warriors! And after 3 thrilling rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards. And all 3 judges see it for your winner via unanimous decision. Fighting out of the red corner, Tetsuya Mizuno!
In ONE FC, we score the fight as a whole, and between rounds, between the scorecard get pulled up, Steve and I kind of had differentiating opinions on how that would be scored, and if you were in a different organization, you easily could have given that fight to Silva because I think he won the first 2 rounds. This is a full fight, and I love the scoring system.
Well, what a fight that was though. Really, really intense action from start to finish. All 15 minutes of it. And nobody could argue that Mizuno isn't the winner. But Silva put in a fantastic effort.
It was a very close fight. That's one of the things that makes martial arts fans, because it's absolutely incredible when you think of all the damage that Mizuno took and didn't really have an answer for anything that Silva was throwing.
Jason Lowe, one of the prime movers and shakers in mixed martial arts in this part of the world. Big pals with Victor Queen.